welcome to episode 137 and a very special episode of the Eavesdrop Podcast. I am with my man Stro, but this one is going to be a special edition, something short, something sweet, something that we got some business to talk, so we'll keep it brief, we'll keep it concise, we'll keep it informative, and we'll keep it as entertaining as possible. How's your week been?
Good.
What are you working on?
Been a good week.
What's in the pipeline of Stro? What's Stro's world looking like nowadays?
I think we're getting ready to submit our application to the new Valorant league that's coming in 2023. Mm-hmm. So working on the application there. We have some.
What does an application like that look like? What does it entail?
They ask us a bunch of questions and we have to
when you say a bunch, how many?
I don't know, maybe like 30, something like that.
More than the League of Legends?
It's very similar. Yeah, very similar to the League of Legends application.
So you guys know, right? When it's time to put pen to paper and answer questions, I am not your man.
Yeah,
that's
why we're the dynamic duo now. Yeah, because when it's time to hop on a camera and do a vlog, and it's not going to be me usually doing that. It's you. We somebody called us the dynamic duo the other day, and I was like, you know what? That's a good one.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we're submitting the application. It's not like the League of Legends application, right?
It's similar. It's similar.
Is it?
Very similar.
Because I remember both Chris Chaney and Jay were like in charge of that, and they were for like a week straight just typing.
Yeah.
And they would ask me questions, and I would answer them, and they would keep typing and keep typing for like a week straight. I'm like, man.
Yeah, it's a lengthy application, but you know, hopefully, Riot, you appreciate the org and let us into this league. We want to play. We want to play.
Yeah. I think they know what's up. We're here to do good, and we're going to continue to do good. We're passionate about the esport. I'm so passionate about Valorant that I don't even fucking play it. Do you know why? You want to know why I don't play Valorant?
Why is that?
The same reason that I stopped playing Battalion 1944. Because because the second that we started playing Battalion, or I started playing Battalion 1944, and the ranking system was so fucking good, right? I could not play it. Every waking moment was me wanting to play it, and I know that Valorant is the same way.
Yeah, Valorant.
The same reason that I don't play Counter-Strike is the same reason and the same way.
Yeah, I just know I've become Valorant, addicted, man, and I had to stop. I was too into it.
What's the rank did you get to?
Oh, I was like high platinum.
High platinum?
Yeah.
Platinum something?
Maybe almost whatever the next one was, diamond. So
this is verifiable information.
No, I know. High platinum.
Yeah. What was the highest one? Radiant?
I think it's they're like Immortal or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember. There's Radiant's highest, I think.
Is it?
There are two at the top. I always get them mixed up.
All right, right here, as we're looking at it, there is Iron, Bronze, Silver,
Radiant,
Gold, Platinum, Diamond, and Immortal, and then Radiant. So Radiant is the...
Yeah, Radiant's highest, Immortal's...
Yeah, and you were Immortal right below it?
Yeah, no, that was Platinum.
You were Platinum. Yeah. Okay, so 3 below that.
Plat 3, I think I made it too.
What's Dashy?
He's Radiant.
Damn. What's Nate Shot? I think Nate Shot's like gold or something.
He's been grinding. I've been seeing his tweets.
Yeah. No, he loves that game. That's what I'm telling you. I just don't want to allocate. I do want to allocate time. I just go up, Matt. Go up. More. Keep going. Never mind. Yeah. Again, the reason that I don't want to play is because I know that I get addicted to it. So anyway, so we're going through the application process to get accepted into and this has been announced already. This is Valorant League and all that stuff. So we're not spilling the tea right here.
No.
Okay, good. So
we're not spilling anything. But I've been working on that. We have some awesome new potential sponsorship deals coming in for us. So the fans have been so supportive and. We're trying to get new partners in, man, to help us keep growing this thing. So been on a lot of those calls lately, and I call you every now and then, give you the update. So we've been talking a lot lately. Things are happening. Things are moving. And that's partly why this episode is a special one. We have updates on the state of the business. We have updates on the future of the business. And that's something that we can talk about. I do think though, however, that the amount of teams that we're in right now, I think sort of mirror the time when we had the most teams in OpTic, right? The most we ever had was Gears, Counter-Strike, COD, obviously Halo, and that is it. And I hope I'm not
forgetting anyone. I think it was 4. I think 4 was like our 5 with League. Yeah. But that was post. That was after AD. It was OpTic AD or OpTic BC. OpTic before the death of Christ. Yeah, it was OpTic. It's like the first OpTic, and then there was the 3-day period, and then now it's OpTic AD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's OpTic AD. But yeah, in BC OpTic we had 4, and then in the 3-day period of Easter we had League of Legends, and then PUBG, and then oh my god, we were in a bunch of stuff. I didn't want to be in PUBG, but I'm glad that we did, because I got to meet a lot of cool people. The players were, good. Some
I had a lot of fun
people.
watching PUBG, man. I still like watching some of the tournaments here and there. I don't know, it was just a fun game to watch for me.
Yeah, when Doc was here, you asked him, right, like, what was his favorite game, and he said H1Z1 is the one that he had the most fun on.
Yeah, I think so.
Because of what proximity chat or some shit.
Yeah, that was funny, man. Watching his streams on that game.
Yeah,
that was funny.
It was
some entertaining Doc streams.
Really, really, really good time. So
should we dive right into this?
Yeah,
or what?
Man. Let's dive into it. Let's see. How do you want to start? I think you should start. I think let's talk about.
This is a big moment. So I don't know. I don't know either. How do you start? How do you say? Because I think we say what we're gonna do, and then we talk about the state of how we're doing it and why we feel it's a good idea. That works for me.
Okay, so as of the beginning of the month, the board, who you are part of and I'm a part of, we all decided that it would be a good idea. Actually, you know what? You decided.
Yeah, I decided.
You decided. So
I decided.
Yeah, you go.
This was my decision.
Yeah, so you do it.
It was my decision, but I think everybody's behind it.
Yeah,
so
no, 100%.
So really, when we merged our companies together, we had this thought of, we're going to take both of our brands. We're going to take OpTic, we're going to take Envy, and we're going to do things with them and continue to do the same things we've kind of always done, but continue to grow them. But I also had in the back of my mind, that there was potential for us to sunset Envy and just put all of our resources into OpTic. And so I said, let's,
Now, when you say sunset, explain sunset, because I don't think it's a business term.
Basically, what we're going to do is take Envy out of esports right now, and kind of take the brand and put it to the side. And the reason that came about was because I told myself when we did this that it might not make sense to be fostering multiple brands and like spreading our resources between multiple brands, and I knew that was potential. And so I said, let's see what happens. So we got into this. We started building again with both brands. And I just saw so much more potential with OpTic, with what we were doing. The green wall accepted me, like that. All that stuff kind of happened to where I felt like I could be accepted as part of OpTic, right? And so for me, it just didn't make sense to take a bunch of the resources. We spend real money, okay? To put it in perspective, at Envy, we have now paid over $20 million in salary to players, okay? That's just salary in our history, okay? So think about that.
I don't know how much I've spent.
Yeah. I mean, you spent a lot too, right? So we've just pumped $20 million into the salary of players over the last, call it 12 years, right? And we've been around since 2007, but didn't really pay anything back then. So we're spending money, we're pumping resources into things, and when you're running a business like we are, this is a business. You can't waste your resources. When every time you waste some of your resources, it's a mistake. It's a pure mistake. And so look, what we're doing now is we're putting Envy to the side for now. The brand, we still own the brand. We still, could do something potentially with it in the future if we want to. But it just made so much more sense to me to put all of our resources into OpTic, because that's where we're really going to grow our business. And that's just a fact. And I know there are a lot of Envy fans out there, man. We weren't one of the largest, followings, let's say in top 5 esports teams in the world, but we're certainly in that top 10, top 15 kind of brands range, right? So it's a big brand, and we had a lot of fans. And there are guys out there with tattoos of our logo. There are fans out there who have supported us for almost 15 years. And, I'm thinking about these guys the whole time, right? But at the same time, we have to survive, okay? This business has to continue to survive. And we're growing fast. So anyway, long story short, I made the decision to come to our board and say, listen, if I'm the one that's more attached to that Envy brand than anyone, and I think it's time we put all of our resources into one brand in terms of esports. Now, we are keeping the Dallas Fuel brand, so Dallas Fuel in the Overwatch League, that will stick, because that brand is just so ingrained in Overwatch now. It kind of felt like we should just keep that going. It was a good thing. It's been a good thing. It's been a great thing. The fans there have been amazing, and we feel like the Dallas Fuel can continue to be a brand. It's got the Dallas name attached to it and so on. But everything else, we're kind of shifting to OpTic. All of our esports teams, all of our creators. Right now, we're going to put Envy on the sidelines. So that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And I know there might be some fans out there that are upset with the decision. But at the end of the day, I'll say it again. We have done what we've done. Envy is not dead. Envy is in the history books forever. Esports history books. I mean, we were, in many ways, I still think, I've said it before, and I really do think this, that if you go back and you look in the history of kind of, definitely in console FPS and look at esport FPS and all of esports, and you look at who's been kind of the most successful, we were to get points, point system, scoring teams for their average finishes, I think we would be number one over the last 10 years. Because across multiple games, obviously OpTic, the brand in Call of Duty, won more tournaments than anybody else. We were in the World Championship Grand Finals 5 out of 7 times before, COD League, and then we won a Counter-Strike Major, World Championship there. We won a World Championship in Overwatch and Apex Season 1. We won a World Championship in things like Paladins, and there's Halo. We've been successful. Gears of War, we were successful winning tournaments. I mean, we've done really well. But anyway, the premise here is that it's time. It's time for us to we need to move this into a place where we have extreme focus on what we're doing, and it's better to do it with one brand than two, period. And I just want to say thank you to all the people who support us through the years, man. I mean, it's been a long road. I've been doing this a long time, so have you. 16 years into it. And I'm excited to just keep producing, man. I've done what I've done. We've done what we've done. We're in the history books, and that's not going to change. And all we're doing now is changing the colors in the logo to everything that you've built, and I'm gonna just grind as hard as I can to take that same success that we had with Envy and build on all the success you've had with OpTic, and just continue to do what we do. And so I hope people out there, the Envy fans, can support that and get on board with the green wall and feel like they're welcome, because they are.
Yeah, I think if there's one thing that you can say about the green wall is that, the more the merrier. And if you looked at the homestand earlier this year, these are people that may have never met each other, but they were all like there hyping each other, high-fiving each other. So the more the merrier is our train of thoughts. Obviously, like in my heart of hearts, obviously, like we go down these different paths, right? But we ended up in the same sort of room. I mean, we're sitting at the same table right now discussing our business, right? It's a thing that sort of come full circle. And when you sort of pitch the idea, like I not unbiasedly, I can see why it makes sense. Like I obviously, right? Like I'm from a business standpoint, this is what makes sense, but I couldn't be the one to bring that up, right? Because it's, I mean, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that we sort of got to where we're at, because the future of this thing is very, very bright, and focusing, like you said, the resources and the want into one brand with the fuel, alongside with the fuel, I think that is the way forward. I think the more that we sit here and we look at our competitors and we see how there isn't any splintering in those offerings, right? It's one diligently positioned and well put brand, and every single all the major players all have one brand.
Yeah, so like, a lot of people, I don't really talk too much about it, but every day, my days are really spent watching all of our teams play, getting their practice and scrim updates from our coaches and managers, just really paying attention to the operations of our team operations. But I'm also very involved on the business unit, and I'm on calls all day long with potential partners and sponsors and investors and all these things, right? If we're the dynamic duo, you're Batman and I'm kind of your Robin, right? But I'm your Robin in the behind the scenes doing a lot of this stuff that, you need to be doing what you're doing every day that you're doing, because the fans of esports and the green wall needs to have that content coming from you, right?
Yeah, and I think not just content, but I think the innovation is going to come with this thing.
Right, that too, right. I mean, Hector still innovates. He's still, we talk every day. I get his input, I'm not saying he doesn't do that stuff, but I'm on these calls, right, every day. And what I'm getting at is that when we're talking to like potential new sponsors and investors, it's confusing when you have multiple brands. It's like they're like, so Envy is what now, and OpTic is what now, and there's a lot of confusion there, and you're already having to explain esports to these people who have never really wrapped their heads around it, right? Never really experienced it. So it's just confusing. And so for us moving forward, when we merge these companies, I knew there's big potential for this to happen, and I wasn't going to do it unless I felt like it was right.
Yeah.
And you supported that. You supported us being able to say, yeah, we're still going to pump some resources into Envy.
Yep.
I'm the one who called it off, because at the end of the day, we kind of already explained it. We need to put our resources into the thing that's going to help us grow the fastest. That's OpTic. And I just hope all the Envy fans can come over and start wearing some green and be welcomed over here. Because
they will. I do think, right, as this thing continues to evolve and as we continue to try to predict the future, because we all know where this is going, right? But how we get there is like the thing that people are trying to figure out. The saying that we're building the plane as we're flying it, we're operating this thing, or we're flying by the seams of our, like those are all true in some senses, but we know how to operate today. How we operate to get to that place where we all know this thing is going is what we have to invent. We have to pave that road still, right? We're building the road as we're driving down it, and we can predict as much as we want, but nobody really knows until the present is there. We really don't know what sort of environments we're going to be in, right? Like, I mean, if you look at the markets today, if you look at crypto, if you look at, just traditional markets also, like these all have independent sort of ripple effects that have in every sense of every industry everywhere. So for us to predict what this thing's going to look like who knows? I mean, think about 5 years ago, only a few people were talking about what Web3 even could be, right? So now that we're here, it's a little bit more accepted. If you go even way farther back when we first started, like nobody knew that Twitter was going to be Twitter. Nobody knew that Facebook was going to be Facebook. They were there as a company, right? I signed on to Twitter in 2009, but nobody knew that Twitter was going to be such a meaningful, culturally relevant platform that everybody, every business globally needed to be a part of, so they can connect further with their consumers, with their fans, with the friends that they've never met. Like, I think that's so for us to predict where this is going, obvious, right? This is going to be bigger than the NFL, bigger than the fucking NBA, bigger than anything that's ever happened before. But how do we get there?
Yeah, no. So like I'm telling you guys out there that this is the next global sport. I mean, it just is. It already is. But we're a little fragmented because we have all these different video games. But if you take esports pie, the whole thing globally, I mean, this thing is huge and it's growing, and we're pushing the boundaries. We've done that our whole careers.
Yeah.
If there's a fence in front of me in this industry, I'm knocking it down. You know, that's the way I look at it. I'm knocking it down, and we're going right through it, and we're going to extend that boundary out and keep going.
And do it again.
And we're going to do it again. And we have done that our whole careers, both of us. And we're going to continue to do that. There are things that we've been working on, for years at Envy that OpTic is now plugged into, and it makes a ton of sense for us to just take the strongest brand, because it is, and put our resources into it. And so that's what's happening. But man, I can't thank the fans that have supported us enough, because I wouldn't even have this opportunity to do this with you had Envy not had people supporting it, And so there are a lot of people out there that care about Envy, and you know what? I'm just super thankful for you guys, man. Like, anybody out there that's ever given us love or spent money on our jerseys, supported our players, whatever it is, you guys mean everything to me. You really do. Yeah. And I hope that you all feel comfortable continuing to take the journey with us. And I know you do, because we haven't lost one bit. It's like when we did this merger, it's already, everything is still going this way. And so I feel good about it. I think it's the right move. And, you know, I think it's time we let Envy rest in peace, because one of the other things that started happening, you know, after we did the merger, is that I felt like Envy was going in a direction that isn't really what it was designed to do, you know?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. So one, I want to know how you feel, right? Like if we give a 6-month update on the business as to, you know, since the merger, what it's looking like. You say this trajectory is like this, so that'd be good. The other thing that I'll say about esports fans is that as much as a logo represents everything at a certain moment, the people is what made that moment, right? And you saw it with the Huntsman, right? You saw it with the way that you know, the green wall followed the people more than the logo itself, right? Like this logo and the people are what make a balled up fist, right? It's separated, there's no damage to be made, but if you put it together the way that we have, then you can really make some damage.
Yeah, completely agree. You know, logos are just logos, but at the end of the day, that's so true. You know, the people behind it are what's really important, right? And the community that supports it is the most important. And, you know, that's not changing over here. Like, you know, it's so funny, man, because people like, you know, Rambo and Karma, you know, even Scump played a little bit, you know, for Envy at some point, not, you know, even before OpTic, right? Like there were some times in there, you know, and so like I feel like this has just been part of our, you know, a lot of OpTic has been part of our family, and me and you have basically been family, like, you know, but on other sides. And so, you know, for me, the logo change isn't, you know, it's not, it doesn't matter, you know, to because at the end of the day, the same people are still behind this whole thing, you know. And we're working hard every day, and we're growing. So yeah, if you want the 6-month kind of update, yeah, I mean, things are good, right? We are healthy. We have probably a little work to do to just optimize our company, because we're discovering a lot over the last 6 months after we did this merger. But in general, you know, I think our community's happy. Our teams are fucking killing it. Like, our players are just on it. You know, everybody's grinding, working hard. From top to bottom, everybody's working hard, and it shows, you know, it's showing, and our growth is there. Like, we're seeing growth, and we know that we're about to take it to the next level with a few things that people can look forward to. We're not going to talk about them just yet, because these things take time and whatever, but you and I are working really hard on the overall macro strategy of this thing, and there's nothing but growth ahead of us, and there's nothing but good experience for our community, man. The green wall is going to experience years to come of just success and happiness and fun. I mean, that's
expansion, innovation. Like we've been doing this for over a decade, but still, and every time I walk into the headquarters, every time I have a meeting with whoever I have a meeting with, like it is a future that excites me, because it's not done. Like this is literally still being built, and the beauty of esports and the beauty of what we're doing in this day and age is the fact that we get to build it however we want to build it. We get to get rid of all bad tendencies. We get to rebuild this and reshape this the way that we want it to look like in the future. All the mistakes the traditional sports have made don't have to be made here. Okay, and it'll be a healthier opportunity if we learn from the mistakes, and if we learn from the processes that, you know, traditional sports have put and, you know, have gone through over the last century almost. That we have a lot of learning to do from there on what not to do. And then if we apply the internet to that, if we apply the, you know, social media, if we apply what the future of Web3 or whatever is going to be, I think that we have the most power that we've ever had to make a change in the right direction. Yeah,
and I mean, there are other esports orgs that are innovating and doing their own things, you know, like, you know, 100 Thieves with their video game, and that's cool. Like, I hope they make a great game, they're successful with it. That's a big project to undertake. You know, you got other companies out there just pushing the other esports orgs, pushing the envelope on certain things. We are pushing the envelope on something, you know, that to me, you know, 4 years of work is already into it, and you and I are excited about it. And we are doing things that no other esports team has ever done before, and I'm excited for that future, man. You know, it's like, and like you said, we're learning a lot of stuff from traditional sports, from traditional entertainment, and some of the mistakes they've made, or some of the things that they could have done better, and we're avoiding
things that did
those.
Right, obviously.
Yeah, things that they did right, and then we're also creating new ideas, you know, and that's huge. So this thing it's just going to continue to grow. People ask me all the time, I've said it before, maybe on this podcast or somewhere else, but people ask me that question all the time, like, did you ever think esports would be this big? And they're like, they just expect you to go, no, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I did, you know. We were here,
definitely hope for it.
We were here. I wouldn't have dedicated my whole life to this, you know, my whole career to this if I didn't think this thing was going to pop off and get much bigger. And we're part of the reason it does, right? We're pushing the boundaries again. So I'm excited about it, man. But yeah, like Envy will always hold a special place in my heart. The fans, you know, seeing the crowds that we've seen, you know, around the world. Like when we had our French Counter-Strike team where we were dominating Counter-Strike and we were kind of in the top 2 teams for a couple of years there. You know, the amount of just like the French people rocking Envy jerseys and showing up to these events, you know, thousands of them, buses, you know, drove across Europe to come watch our events. I mean, those moments will always live up in my head, my memories, you know, all the Call of Duty years and, you know, competing, you know, with Envy, the boys in blue, you know, I mean, like everything's so special there, man. But I want everybody to know that, you know, it's like, you have one life, you know, you have one life and you got to get it right. And that's the way I look at it. And so everything we've done so far, I feel like we've done pretty close to right. And I think this move is also right. And so, you know, I'm happy for the success that we've had, and I'm happy what we did with Envy, but it's time to move into this new era with you and the whole group of people that we work with every single day. And I'm fucking excited, man.
Same. All right, let's talk about you know, what our plans are. How do we start making, you know, these changes? What are the first, like what's happening to Rocket League? What's the deal?
Yeah, so Rocket League is coming over. Be OpTic Rocket League. I'm excited for that. It's, you know, that's going to be the green wall. Being in Rocket League is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep. It's one of the most requested, next to Counter-Strike, obviously, because the Greenwell loves their Counter-Strike. I think we're filling a little bit of that void with Valorant, but you know, Counter-Strike is the most legendary esport, in my opinion, ever.
Yeah,
you know, so you know, when I get told by the fans, when I get told by the masses that they want their cars, you know, they want their skinned, you know, cars as they play Rocket League and they go through these tournaments and they go through the traditional stuff that we go to. Where's the content? What does that content strategy look like? You know what I mean?
Those OpTic cars look fire too. We can't show you guys.
We can't show you yet,
but I don't even know if we can talk about it, but I think we can. I mean, obviously, like, you know, if we're changing our Rocket League team to OpTic, like, we can talk about the cars are going to be in the game, and they look sick. Yeah,
Aaron has really killed it the same way that he killed the skins for Halo. I mean, I think the excitement for me comes to the point where, like, we've wanted to be in Rocket League for a long time because of Hitch, right? I mean, obviously I appreciate us in esport, easy to follow. The fandom is obviously crazy there, but Hitch has been like the biggest like, you know, supporter of us expanding into this thing, and you know, it's we, right? But I like to take my time in expansion and going into esports. I like to I like to see it develop, and I like to see it happen. And in the last 3 years, we haven't been able to do much of that because we've been playing sort of, you know, Band-Aid here, Band-Aid there. But now that we're in a position to where we can, you know, continue to bring the green wall more championships and more excitement and more bad times, you know, because the bad times come with the good, and
that's right.
It's sports at the end of the day. It's competition at the end of the day.
You gotta roll with the punches.
You gotta roll with the punches,
because you're never going to win everything. It just doesn't work that way.
It'd be boring.
People don't realize how hard it is, man, to win these esports tournaments. Do you guys know how much money is getting pumped into these other orgs too, and how hard their players are working to beat us, and how hard everyone is trying to just win? Yeah, it is so hard, and there can only be one every tournament, right?
That's right.
There's only one out of many other teams trying. Yeah, but man, we've had success in Rocket League. I think we're 5-time North American regional champions in Rocket League. Like, you know, we're competitive on the world stage. I mean, you know, we know what we're doing in that game, and you know, we're excited to kind of run it with OpTic. And then we're just kind of looking at future opportunities too. I mean, these aren't the last video games that are going to get made. They're not the last competitions, that are out there. It's not final. So taking the OpTic brand into new territory in the future is something that we're looking at, and maybe potentially taking some of these other games like Counter-Strike. We both miss it. We have to manage resources, so right now it's something we're keeping our eye on. We're not saying we're going to go pick up a Counter-Strike team right now, but
or are we? I don't know.
But we are obviously always hearing out opportunities. So we're looking. Can't say we're jumping into it yet.
Ear to the ground as always.
But we're looking.
Yeah, ear to the ground as always.
And it's exciting, man. I'm just excited to transition and get it really started, because I'm not Hastr0 yet. I'm not. I'm still just not. And hopefully here soon I can earn that,
Mm-hmm. All right, so obviously, like, we always keep our ear to the ground on other esports and opportunities, and the way that I've always looked at OpTic, and the way that I've always looked at the space, that it's not just gaming. Right, for us, it's not just gaming. Gaming entertainment is a pivotal launch pad for what we have built. Right, what you've built, what I built, but that's not where this story ends for us. Right, like this, like gaming and gaming entertainment is not the only areas that we want to touch. So I'm excited about all the other potential opportunities outside of gaming and esports that we've been looking at with a very meaningful and watchful strategic eye as to how it works in the OpTic realm. So I'm excited about that. I don't want to say anything too soon. I don't want to even hint towards anything, because this is a competition at the end of the day, and unlike the past where we as OpTic could afford the luxury of telling everybody what we could do because we knew that no one was going to be able to catch up. There's a lot of contenders out there that can. There's a lot of contenders out there that can make moves as quickly as we can. Is it as meaningful as it would with the green wall? In some cases, yeah, but in some cases, no. So I'd rather just say that we have intent, and instead of telling them a full outline plan as to where.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, look, I mean, again, we operate a business, but the most important thing about our business is just for it to continue to survive. Like for us, I know you think this way too. It's all about creating the experience for our community and our fan base in esports that is meaneful. It's about an experience that it's about creating happiness and joy, right? And
it's about continuing to make a living off of what we love doing, which is this. There is something to be said about the opportunity that we have created for ourselves, and the opportunity that we've created for a bunch of people, not only in gaming but outside of gaming, where people are able to explore living a life that's so fulfilling that they get paid a good chunk of change to do what they love, which is entertain, right? To take in and understand the honor that one has to be able to spend 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour talking to somebody who's listening, and who is, who we get an opportunity to make their day easier, as somebody did for me once back in my mortgage days when I was listening to the podcast that I was listening to, right? I think it's a full circle moment, and every day I am more than appreciative of the fact that I get to do something that I love doing for a living, and not just for a living, but for the entertainment of others.
Yeah, see, people out there need to understand this about me. I watch esports more than probably any of you out there.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I do all day long. I got 3 monitors. I got esports on 24/7. Basically, I work 10, 12-hour days. But last night when I was watching Formal Man win the HCS Pro Series, and I was watching his POV. That's like dopamine for me, watching his gameplay, watching Formal's gameplay last night. Like, it's not even about me being, his teammate, right? Like, just watching his gameplay gave me a rush, And the same thing when I watch, like, Korean League of Legends or Chinese League of Legends, and I see some of these players do some of this crazy shit that's like big brain plays, I'm not even associated with that game right now, and that gives me dopamine rush, seeing somebody do something crazy. I'm an esports fan at my core. Okay, it's not even about the business for me. Like, I just love esports and competing, and I love seeing people do stuff that isn't supposed to be possible. So anyway, I just want everybody out there to know that I love you. I love the NV fans who've been with us through this. I hope all of you feel good about us moving forward. And I just want to say thank you.
Yep.
That's it. A big thank you.
So do I. I think I think that the future's bright, and we won't talk about it. Right? We will let the work do the talking. We will let the work do the tweeting. We will let the work do all of the communication. We're just going to be behind the scenes as we have, sometimes in front of the camera, and continue to do the work that we've been doing and continue to grind it out. Continue to be, if anything else, continue to be one of the hardest, if not the hardest working organization from top to bottom that we always have been. Right. So that's what I want to continue to do. It's what gives me dopamine.
Yeah.
The competition, not just from a video game standpoint, but just from an innovation standpoint, and every single aspect of this business, and it is a business and whatever, but it's built off of the back of passionate people in their respective fields. Whether you're a graphics guy, your graphics as an artist are competing against other people's graphics as an artist. Your sales team is competing against another sales team. Your social media people are competing against other social media. Like, this is a top to bottom competition, and people that traditionally work in this field understand that so well that they do nothing but try to outmaneuver everybody else that they are in competition with. Because no matter how you look at it, the business side just happens to happen because it has to happen, right? It has to get paid for. But the competition, the beauty of the game is what drives me, and it what drives like the majority, if not all of the people that I work with on a daily basis.
Everything has just felt good, man. Since we've done this, everything has felt pretty good. We have a lot more work to do, and good. I promise the green wall now too. When I think I've said it before, but I'm here to do some damage. Okay. And when I say damage, I mean, we're here to damage the competition, because we're going to try and win every single thing that we compete in. We are going to help our players and support them to a degree that they're not going to get at other places. And we're trying to give you all an experience, no matter how you're connecting with us, that you won't get anywhere else. And that's my goal. And so when it's all said and done for me, and when I'm gone, that's what I want to be able to say, that I achieved all of those things with you. Yep.
And look, it's really easy to put a thought and an opinion on the move that's happened right now. But I would like you guys to take into account that this is forever and always going to be a path that we're going down. It's an ever changing and an ever flowing team that will always shape and form and be what it needs to be in a particular case. Like me, I'm always going to be what OpTic needs me to be. If it needs me to be a content creator, that's what I'm going to be. If it needs me to be a figurehead, that's what I'm going to be. I'm always going to do what's best for this team, the way that you've done everything that's best for your team. So like anything else, like I said, it's just like I'm gonna let the work do the talking, as we have for the last decade.
Yeah, and one more thing. To the players that played for Envy throughout the years, going all the way back to 2007, for all those players that came through, and you were one of the boys in blue, another big thank you to you, because we had some of the most incredible players come through our organization, and some of them are still here with OpTic, right? So I just want to say a big thank you to all the players. I've truly developed like true brotherhood with so many players from around the world, and I hope all of you watching this right now, or who are kind of thinking about all the good times in Envy and the Envy brand, I hope all of you can be proud of the time that you had with us, and I hope all of you are very happy out there. So send me a message. There's so many players that we've connected to over the years, and I hope you all are doing great, man. So big thank you to all the players too.
Any closer comments?
Just get ready, prepare yourselves, because we're about to do it big. That's it. Right. That's it. But another big thank you to the fans, man. That's really all I have to say.
All right. I think, and I'll continue to say this until the day that I die. Let the work do the talking. Let us show you what we mean instead of tell you what we mean. And that's going to be that. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special episode of the Eavesdrop Podcast. More to come. Definitely more to come. So keep your eyes peeled and ear to the ground. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.